Servants of the Emperor, Briggso here, and in this video I'm going over a Ranged Zealot build in Warhammer 40k, Darktide. First of all, I just want to say a massive Happy New Year to everyone. This is my first video of the new year and I'm hoping for it to be a continued flow of videos from here onwards. I took a little bit of time off over Christmas and New Year's to spend some time with family and friends. I actually spent New Year's with my closest friends on Charles Bridge in Prague, and it was one of the most epic things that I've ever been a part of. Unfortunately now though, I have come back with a bit of a cold and I'm still recovering from that, so apologies I haven't been uploading videos for the last couple of days. My goal for this year is to try and hit 10,000 subscribers, so if you enjoy the content that I put on here, then please consider subscribing to this channel, it goes a long way in supporting me. But anyway, enough of the introductions, let's dive straight into this Ranged Zealot build. The first thing I want to say is that Zealots are inherently a melee based class. This build is very useful for getting your ranged contracts from Melk done very quickly. We do have a good combination of melee attack power, but also having some really good ranged defensive options in here. The weaknesses of this build are monstrosities, crushers and bulwarks, however we do have some things in here to combat them, but rely on your team to get around these and we'll be okay. But anyway, let's take a look at the weapons. So first of all, for our primary weapon, you can use what you want here, but something that can achieve a high critical hit chance rate is very useful. I use the Tigris Mark 15 Heavy Eviscerator and I pair it with the Shred and Rampage blessings. This is a tried and true combo that I've used on the channel before and it works out very well with this build. Shred paired with Scourge and Invocation of Death help us get our combat ability back very fast, and Rampage helps us to cut through hordes very effectively. For perks, I recommend putting a Maniac damage perk on there for mutants and rages, and a plus 20% damage to carapace armor, as this will help us 1v1 crushers. For our ranged weapon of choice, we're using the Grya Mark 7 infantry autogun, and I'm using the Stripped Down and Dum Dum blessings on this. Stripped Down is the main focal point of this weapon, as it gives us ranged attack immunity while sprinting at over a certain percentage of stamina based on the blessing tier. This is very helpful to push up to ranged enemies so we can get in there with our melee weapon. Dum Dum also provides us a much needed damage boost, as without any damage boosts on this weapon it can feel a little bit lackluster. We do also take some talents later that help us provide more damage to our Grya. I also want to note that you can use any infantry gun here. You can even use the braced ones as long as they have stripped down on them, so feel free to take your pick. For Curios I take a combination of health, toughness and stamina, and the perks that I definitely recommend you should put on these are stamina regeneration and sprint efficiency, as they help strip down go the extra mile and last longer. With the weapons and Curios out the way, let's now go through the talent tree. First of all, we go down the right hand side of the tree and we pick up Backstabber. Backstabber gives us plus 20% damage on melee backstab hits, which is very useful for taking down crushers and bulwarks, as we're going to be using our Eviscerator to get rid of these, and if we can get round the back of them, then Backstabber comes in very clutch here. Next up we take Scourge, which makes our melee critical hits apply bleed, causing damage over time. Melee hits on bleeding enemies grant plus 10% critical chance for 3 seconds, and this stacks 3 times. After this we take another plus 15% toughness boost before moving on to Enduring Faith, which gives us plus 50% toughness damage reduction on critical hits for 4 seconds, which is very useful for keeping us alive. We then move on to the middle part of the tree and take Anointing Blood, which gives us up to 25% based range damage reduced the further you are away from the target. As this is a ranged build, this comes in very useful. We then move down and take Fortitude and Fellowship, which gives plus 25% coherency toughness regeneration, which is always handy for keeping us alive. Moving on, we then take another plus 15% toughness boost before getting the Voice of Terror, which replenishes 2.5 toughness on ranged kills. We then move down to take our Blitz ability, which is going to be the Immolation Grenades. Immolation Grenades are very versatile, as we can use them when we see a group of crushers, bulwarks or even a horde that seems a little bit too big for our liking. We then move down to take a plus 15% toughness boost and then move over to the left hand side of the tree to take a plus 5% melee damage boost. Moving down from there, we then take another plus 5% movement speed boost and then move on to Until Death. Until Death helps us out as we are quite squishy in this build, and when we pair it with Holy Revenant it means that when we take fatal damage we then get 5 seconds in vulnerability and we can pull out our ranged weapon, causing a lot of damage to gain our health back. I then move on to the aura, which is going to be Benediction, which gives plus 15% toughness damage reduction for you and your allies in coherency, once again helping us survive. After taking Benediction, we then take another plus 15% toughness boost before taking Fury of the Faithful. Fury of the Faithful is very useful for giving us toughness on demand, and for gaining a plus 20% attack speed, which works both for our ranged and melee weapon. With Fury of the Faithful, your next melee hit also gains plus 25% damage and is a guaranteed critical. We pair this with Redoubled Zeal, so we also have 2 charges of this. I do want to point out here that I did try out using the right hand side of the tree and picking up Shroud Field, so it means that we can go invisible and try and shoot targets from behind to get more damage on them. I don't feel like this worked too effectively though, as it makes you push away from your team and then makes you a single target as soon as you come out of Shroud Field. Moving on though, we take a plus 25 suppression boost, a plus 5% toughness damage reduction, and a plus 5% melee damage boost. Going down the left hand side of the tree, we then take Punishment, which melee attacks that hit at least 3 enemies gain plus 30% impact strength for 5 seconds, and it stacks 5 times. At max stacks, we also gain Interruptible. This is very useful, however we're mainly taking this so we can move down the tree. After this, we pick up a 5% movement speed boost, and then move over to Invocation of Death, where melee critical hits reduce combat ability cooldown by 1.5 seconds. As I said before, this in combination with Scourge and the Shred Blessing on our Eviscerator means that we have our combat ability up all the time, which means that we have toughness on demand whenever we want it. We then move over to the right hand side of the tree to pick up Sustained Assault, which I often call Mini Slaughterer, as it gives us plus 4% melee damage for 5 seconds on hitting an enemy with a melee attack, and it stacks 5 times, which is very similar to the Slaughterer Blessing. We then go down the tree and take a plus 5% toughness damage reduction, and then gain Swift Certainty. Swift Certainty increases our sprint speed by 10%, and in addition, we always count as dodging while sprinting even if stamina is depleted. This combined with Strip Down makes us a very hard target to hit when we're sprinting around, which works perfectly with our keystone, which is Inexorable Judgment. Inexorable Judgment reads, moving grants you momentum, which stacks 20 times. When you hit an enemy, spend all momentum gaining plus 1 melee attack speed, plus 1 ranged attack speed, and plus 1 damage per stack, which lasts 8 seconds. This is very useful for powering up our Gryer, and in combination with Fury of the Faithful, it also means that we gain a plus 40% ranged attack speed when using both Inexorable Judgment and Fury of the Faithful, which gives us an insane rate of fire. You do want to watch out for your ammo count though, as you can rinse through it very fast when using this combination, but it is very useful for taking things down very quickly. After this, we then grab Retributor's Stance, which replenishes 2% toughness for each spent stack of momentum, and as we're always moving and shooting, this comes up quite a lot. We then finish up by taking Inebriate's Poise, which gives us 3 stacks of momentum on a successful dodge. This works really well with Swift Certainty and Strips Down. As while we're sprinting and we dodge a ranged attack, which happens a lot with Strip Down active, it means that we gain more stacks of momentum, continuing the cycle and the pain train. And that's it for this Ranged Zealot build. I'm now going to jump into some gameplay footage of it. If you're jumping off here to go and try out this build, then thank you very much for watching this video, and if I could ask once again that you consider subscribing to my channel or liking this video, then that would be really appreciated. I do want to note that I did record this footage a little bit earlier, so I actually sound more ill than I do now, so apologies for that. But regardless, let's let the gameplay footage roll. Feeling a little bit rough and under the weather because, yeah, I went to Prague, so had an amazing New Year, so sorry I've not been posting, but yeah, just because I'm chilling out with my friends, and yeah, we went to Prague Bridge for New Year's, and it was probably one of the best things I've ever experienced. So, yeah, suffering for it now, but wouldn't trade it for the world. Okay, we've got a Mauler there. I don't like how... Maulers, we do need to get in with our Eviscerator and take him out like that. The autogun isn't very good at taking out Maulers or Crushers or Bulwarks, so we do need to get our Eviscerator out for these. Let's go get all these guys up. Panda Beast and Nurgle. Oh my god. They are giving us no break here. There we go, Strip Down just lets me run up to these guys without taking any damage.
Now there's multiple crushers. I need a grenade on the ground. Holy Revenant just saved my ass there. I just want to deal out as much damage as I can. Space of time. I didn't deal much though. Let's get shot through this crowd. Oh boy, they just keep coming, don't they? Get ranged weapon out. Go, 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 go. Oh, see, strip down really gave me the ability there just to get out of that situation, even though it was riddled with gunfire. Really do wish I had the rank 4 version, because then it means you get more use of it. But that'll be something I have to grind for. There's another thing probably to point out with this build as well, is that you want ammo as much as everyone else, so when you're running with 3 vets that are very ammo thirsty, this probably isn't the build to choose, but I'm simply playing it for a demonstration. I am playing it with randoms, so fortunately I didn't really get that choice, but if I did, I would probably choose something a little bit different that didn't eat as much ammo. Okay, let's just go explode there. Oh, I didn't need to reload there, but I did. Oh no, please don't get blasted off. He's alright. Oi, that's 2 behind me. Oh, okay. Slow those smallers down. There's always someone on. But yeah, I mean, with this is quite good, because if I did need to get ranged scab kills right now, then I could just shoot these guys. But, you know, if not, I'm going to conserve my ammo. Near us, and box bomber as well. Our lives very hard. We need to escape. So yeah, having that stripped down really helps us out. That's the thing that I like the most about it, is actually having just a normal zealot with stripped down on it. really helps out just to run around and get in there with your melee weapon. Obviously, we do want to use some range where we can, you know, obviously to complete those objectives from Milk and things like that, but this is kind of a bit of a multi-tool build. So overall, I really rate it. I think it's very, very fun to use. I hope you enjoy using this build. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please like this video and consider subscribing to my channel. It really means the world to me. But otherwise, I'll catch you in the next one. Thank you.